bro. Don't forget, it ain't the first 48, bro. It's 60 minutes, bro.
We heard a whole lot of lip service, but hey, anybody can do that. But between the lines,
come with the kid, best not miss. Even the score now, we need to score now. Back on that wall, when you hear that call, you know it's going down. We play from beginning to ending, you know how we finish. Turn to the bank, gotta handle our business. We need the ball, so it's time to go get it. Play with your heart when you hit, make like who you with? You know who I'm with. You come to the bank and get out of line, we sending a blitz. Say who you with? You know who I'm with. That purple and black, and when we attack, you know what it is.
You're now locked in Zone 32.
Ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of the Zone 32 podcast. I'm BT. We got Will. We got Drew. Jake's going to be here a little bit later. And hopefully we got Trippy and Grant coming a little later too. But what's going on, guys?
Shut the fuck up.
Fuck you.
That doesn't sound the same. Not telling Jake shut the fuck up. I don't really know what to do. I'm kind of lost.
I don't know either.
It was unenthusiastic.
Yeah.
We're like, shut
Well, usually Jake says something, stupid, so then I have to tell him shut the fuck up. But BG didn't say anything stupid this week. Obviously we're all a little bit irritated. Montante, where is Trippy? Who the fuck knows where Trippy is? He's probably still sad.
Honestly, I think Tripp may have taken a nap and overslept because I texted him and he didn't respond. So
my assumption is we'll see Trippy around 10:45.
He'll probably wake up right as the show's getting ready to wrap up.
His natural alarm clock, based on previous times of this sort of thing happening, is he'll probably show up at 10:45, 11 o'clock, something like that. We'll see.
Yeah, because he went to the game on Sunday, so I don't know. Should I intro that fucking train wreck that we had to watch on Sunday, or
yeah. Let's get into it.
In typical Jake fashion, just pretend that I put a bunch of nonsense in here talking about, we scored some touchdowns, some good things happened, and then Eddie fucking Jackson happened and we lost. The reality is there's nothing good to come out of that game. Typically I can find some kind of silver lining to be a positive, but there really was no positive. I mean, Lamar was okay, nothing special. Lamar was not helped by drops, obviously. Derrick Henry was, 7 yards a carry, but he only had 11 carries. So what the fuck? We're going back to the Chiefs game plan there. Eddie Jackson was the most targeted wide receiver by Jameis Winston and came down with 0 catches. What else happened here? Kyle Hamilton played a great fucking game until the one play where it mattered, and then he dropped it. So, I mean, there was fucking nothing good about that game. Justin Tucker missed another 50-yard kick on the tail of a drop third down conversion. So I don't know who we want to start with that we should shit on, because there's a lot of people that need to be, fucking shit on for that performance. You have Jameis Winston essentially coming off the couch, not playing for 2 years, and looking like, prime FSU Jameis Winston, which is just not good. I would also like to say I was right for being afraid of Jameis Winston. So PD made fun of me for that comment.
Yeah.
But clearly I was correct. So fuck you, Visionless Dave. I'm sure you're watching somewhere, dickhead. I'm also watching the World Series, so we can sprinkle in some talking baseball for VD's purposes.
Oh yeah,
But,
definitely.
yeah.
So let me rank, in my opinion, by player who is most at fault. Okay. Rashad Bateman's number one. I'm going to go.
Do you want me to get through your whole list and then I can argue your list, or do you want to go one?
Yeah,
by
one? You might agree with my list of players. Who knows? But number one on the list is Rashad Bateman.
No, it's Eddie Jackson. As much as I would love to trash the nail painting freak, absolute clown show loser that Rashad Bateman is, Eddie Jackson was worse. Because we could have survived the Rashad Bateman drops if Eddie Jackson didn't suck balls. So that would be my argument against that. It's not any.
I think it's a chicken and egg thing, and I put more on Bateman because of the fact that Bateman is number one. I mean, However, he's a first-round pick. So expectations are higher. He's been on the team longer. Eddie Jackson should not be a starter. We can get into theories and other things about why Eddie Jackson was even starting in the first place. But Eddie Jackson sucked. He was the worst player. He was the worst player on the field on either team on Sunday. But to me, he's still not the most to blame, because a guy who the Ravens invested a first-round pick in and who gave an extension to on third down, and a week after him kind of tooting his own horn and all his fucking sycophants on Twitter talking about how great he is, came out and had arguably his worst game as a Raven.
So, BT, was that just me, or was Will a robot for after
that? Partially robot.
Okay. But I got the gist of what Will said. Fuck Rashad Bateman. Like, trust me, I get it. For 3 weeks we were like, all right, maybe this guy's turned a corner, and then he got a little cocky, and now he drops fucking ball.
That's what I said. That is what I said.
Pretty much. That was the gist of when he was going robot.
And my whole thing. Oh, God fucking damn it. Austin Wells just hit a home run, or whatever the fuck his first name is. I'm really pushing for the Yankees sweep here. Fuck Aaron Judge, but my whole thing with Bateman is that, like, we got tricked. So, like, that is who he's been his whole career, is that he's gonna flash and then he's gonna do stupid shit, and we bought into the flash. And so, are we mad at Rashad Bateman because we got fucking tricked? Or, like, did we really expected that he turned a corner? I guess is my question.
Well,
no. So I think you and I both were pretty clear with everybody who, every time Rashad Bateman has a good game, or even like a decent, if Rashad Bateman has more than 50 yards, people start tagging us. So our response has been to that, okay, do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again. Because right now, like, you would have thought after last week that Rashad Bateman was on pace for like 1,500 yards this year. He was on pace for 900 yards. Like, that's a fine season. It's okay, but it's nothing like the fact that people are flexing about his performance. He had a really good game last week, and he had a couple of decent games before that. But like, he's just like
last comment on the
people
screen
talk about him like he's some kind of record setter, or he's like suddenly emerging as like an alpha or wide receiver one. None of that's true. He just had a good game, one good game.
But he was acting like that too. So again, it was
you're right.
Brown. It was the Marquise Brown problem of the wide receiver one attitude, carrying himself like a wide receiver one, and then not producing like a wide receiver one. You look at Bateman talking to the media. I think Trippy said it last week. Was acting like a virgin who just lost his virginity, like was the happiest motherfucker in the room. You think that he put up the greatest game of all time, and it was a good game. Don't get me wrong. 120 yards of touchdown is for Rashad Bateman are like career highs. So good for him. But again, he kind of had that wide receiver one swagger, and I'm like, if you're going to give the wide receiver one swagger and you're going to back it up a little bit, like, fucking fine, give me it, because it's better than the mopey bitch that he'd been his whole career. But, you
hold on.
Drew,
Sway, do you want to come on? Do you want to be the fourth person on this podcast? Because I'm not sure that any of the other
at the moment.
I'm going to send him.
You're starting to go robot too there, Drew. But I'm going to agree with both of you here, because as I was coming onto this podcast, and even beforehand, you guys have been very critical of Rashad Bateman and basically telling him, do it again, do it again, do it again. We prove us wrong. And that's we just want to be proven wrong. That's all there is to it. There is no reason to get after all of us who have been very critical of Bateman. Just let Bateman prove us wrong. That's all.
No, I mean, I'm fine with people. I'm fine with people fucking tweeting me all they want when he does something good. Like, go for it. I don't really fucking care. But when he does something bad, I'm gonna fucking say he does something bad. Like, that's the one that blows my mind. And the sun excuse is just absurd. Okay, like, everybody's like, oh, he was looking directly in the sun trying to catch that ball. The sun has existed for a very long fucking time.
Some would argue without the sun, the Earth wouldn't even exist, and football would never have happened.
Right.
Some would say that.
But according to Bateman Dick Eaters, like, the sun just happened for the first time on Sunday, and he's the first human being to ever encounter the sun, which I don't fucking get. Whatever, fine. People want to fucking look for every excuse under the sun for that guy, pun intended. Go for it. But, like, he just lost the ball. Like, he didn't lose it because of the sun. He fucking saw he was wide open. He panicked and he dropped the ball like he's done 100 times before. Will brought up a great point that the play after he dropped that, Stout punted the ball, around in the same spot where he should have caught that pass.
No, further, 64 yards, but the ball would have gone. I mean, the ball would have been in that, in the sun the whole way.
Mm-hmm. Right, and the punt returner.
Big dog dad's here.
No fucking problem.
BDC.
Yeah, I mean, people, the people who are, oh, he lost in the sun, you couldn't catch that. Like, dude, shut the fuck up, please. Like, for once, can you people not have his dick, rammed down your fucking throats and be objective?
And they make these things that go over your eyes that'll protect your sight from the sun.
No, I am not by any. Yeah, actually, if Rashad Bateman tunes into this, he probably thinks I'm wearing sunglasses to make fun of him. Which would have been a good bit on my part if I hadn't been doing that for weeks on end beforehand. But, like, I'm not an elite athlete by any stretch of the imagination. I played baseball all the way through college. Like,
slobbers on Bateman's talent.
Oh yeah, so much. The amount of people who get fucking mad at me for Bateman tweets is wild. But in all seriousness, like, I caught enough baseballs hitting the sun. You don't look directly into the sun if the ball's hit towards the sun. You can kind of look away from it and use your best judgment as to where the ball's going to end up, and then you catch the fucking ball. Like, it's not challenging. I really hate to break it to these people who are like, oh, you couldn't catch that. Like, I'm positive that 90% of people on Twitter could have caught that ball.
And
if you put somebody,
guess what? If you're on Twitter and you couldn't catch that ball, that's okay, because you are a fucking regular ass motherfucker on Twitter. You're not an Twitter, NFL wide receiver. You're not making millions of dollars. You're not on the fucking field on Sunday. So yes, we are allowed to be critical of what the guys do during the game, despite the fact we couldn't do it. But that's the dumbest. Oh, you couldn't have caught the ball. Number one, I probably could have. Number two, if I couldn't have, okay, fine. I'm not a fucking NFL wide receiver.
Our school daycare forced us to have the sun in the 90s.
If you dropped a ball like that, your first reaction wouldn't be to log on to Twitter and respond to a fanboy saying, hey,
say the sun was in my eyes. Yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty sure the second that happened, like in our private group, we were all saying he's going to blame that on the sun.
Right. He is a frustrating human being to deal with. Did I say last week that we invited him on and I said I would paint my nails live on the podcast?
Yeah.
I think I said this last week. And that message got to Bateman. And he was like, no, that's not funny. Like, dude, fuck you. Like, get a fucking grip, man. Like, it's not that serious. Like, I didn't really care about you too much as a human being. Like, you were a player on my favorite team. Thought it'd be a good laugh for everybody. You want to be a sensitive bitch about it to the point that you're sending family members, like, into my mentions to try to fight me on things. His alleged blood cousin was tweeting.
And by the way, that was like not until the 9th time there was a reply. He goes, "He's my blood cousin," which at that point means
so he called him his little cousin in his first response to me, and I was like, "Well, tell your little fucking cousin to catch the ball." Like, really wasn't that big of a deal, and he just kept going. He's like, "I'm not going to let you talk about my cousin like that." Well, your cousin's a fucking loser. Like, I hate to break it to you,
you weren't expressing opinions. You were just saying he didn't catch the fucking ball.
Catch the fucking ball.
That happened. I mean, like,
it's
that.
Not an opinion. It's his job.
Hey, blood cousin, do you have blood flowing to your fucking eyes? Can you see what happened in the game? Because he dropped the ball 2 times.
I would question the blood flow to his brain after speaking to him a couple times on Twitter, but it's a different conversation for a different day, I guess.
His header image on Twitter is a picture of his bank account balance. It's a healthy balance.
That's how much Rashad pays him to defend him on Twitter, I think.
Yeah, it's a healthy balance. I'm not shitting on that, but it's a fucking cringe move to post your fucking bank account balance as your header on
Wasn't
Twitter.
It's like 18 grand. Like, it's not
18 grand, right? So that's what I'm saying.
That's not enough. That it's a healthy balance, but it's not enough.
It's a very healthy checking account balance, but yeah, no, you shouldn't be posting that as some sort of flex.
Also, I would like, they're starting to go after people who took out those fraudulent PPP loans. One of them I would like them to go after is Gregory P. Roman. That I did a lot of legwork on research for that.
Oh, you did all that?
Yeah, I did. I was the one who found that. You found me what I
yeah, you're right.
PPP money on.
I mean, he's doing the same thing with the Chargers. So,
well, somebody with the same last name as him and the same name as his children took out a very large PPP loan the same week that Greg Roman closed on a $1.2 million home in Owings Mills. So I would like that investigated if anybody's listening. But I would also say that Rashad Bateman's cousin might have taken out a fraudulent PPP loan. That just seems like the kind of guy that he was.
I think we should I think as patriots, we should be alerting
taxpaying Americans. Yeah.
Yeah. Just, we have a lot of government agencies who investigate shit. So I think we should just create maybe some attention for a potential case that they could open.
Absolutely.
I mean, DPs and Wink Martindale were at the January 6th riots, and Greg Roman took out a fraudulent PPP loan. It is what it is. People need to do the right thing and, investigate them. That's all.
So
my tax money funds your salary for you to investigate those people. So
in regards to the most hated Ravens from last week, Eddie Jackson still number 2?
Number 2 for me.
Yeah,
Rashad Bateman's number 1. And I will admit that Rashad Bateman being number 1 for me is a combination of what he did in the game and my feelings for him in general.
Yeah, and Eddie Jackson being number 1 is solely based on what happened in the game. So, I get what you're saying is that
I don't know that I've ever seen
more.
Yeah,
you expect more out of Bateman, so you put him higher, which is
I expect more.
Whatever.
I expect more from him in general, and especially coming off the game he had last week and the way he was fucking, sashaying around, fucking doing the Macarena after the game. But on Eddie Jackson, I don't know that I've ever seen anyone on the Ravens on the defensive side of the ball have as bad of a game as he had.
Sharice Wright comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he sucked ass and only played
I hate
injuries. So yeah, but the guys who come to mind are all trash bag corners. What was the dreadheaded guy that we had who was 1-on-1 with Devontae Adams?
Robert Jackson.
Injury. Yeah, but that's a guy we picked up off the street. But that's another one that
Trevon Williams
for that. Yeah, all these people that really had no business playing, and they were only playing because somebody was.
Trevon Williams was signed off the street. He was 38 years old at the time, so
yeah, he sucks ass, but also I never expected him to be good. You brought in Eddie Jackson expecting a decent veteran depth safety, and he's just not that at all. And my other issue again, Eddie Jackson just getting burnt up and down the fucking field. At some point, you have Braid and what's the other guy? Kane. They can't be any worse.
Kane, Kane is the personal protector for the punter every fucking time we punt, which happens a lot nowadays. It feels like, but so Kane is readily available. I haven't seen him in on one defensive snap all year.
I think he's played 3 defensive snaps.
They must have been in junk time when you're not paying attention who's on the field.
And Brennan Ace also
like
makes a good point here with that.
One place. I feel like the scheme isn't really working for his. So I don't know if we want to get into this now or save this for a little bit down the road after we get our gripes out. I want to shit on the offensive line enough.
Bench Project 77.
Ronnie had his worst game of the year. He was also going up against the best pass rusher he's faced all year, so I can kind of understand why it still wasn't a good game for Ronnie. Linderbaum had a stupid penalty. Flaley looked terrible. Makari looked like Makari, and Rosengarten was okay. I feel like Lamar got pressured a lot more on Sunday than he had in previous weeks.
Well, and Kohler and Ricard were barely on the field, which is bananas to me.
That's what bothers me, is that I feel like we could have, stopped their pass rush better than we did. I also feel like we're not talking about the offensive line if Rashad Bateman converts those 2 third downs and Aguilar catches that 3rd down. Yep. So, Lamar made a lot of plays on the run. There were a lot of great throws that he made on the run. And I feel like we almost forget about how often he was forced on the run if people made the catches they were supposed to. So, offensive line wasn't good. We could have made it work, though. So,
and Rosengarten, on Rosengarten, no one knows how PFF grades anyone. They don't know how no one knows the fucking, the algorithm they use or whatever. But Rosengarten had a pretty bad grade, but I feel like Rosengarten is being penalized for Vallely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help him for sure, but that's the other thing with PFF.
He's a rookie. I mean, he's a true freshman. The guy got drafted in the 2nd round, and he's thrown into the fire, which I think we all expected him to be, but still. It's the NFL, so we can give him a little bit of grace. I think
I would say
he's been pretty good.
Not overly concerned with the offensive line. I'm just not thrilled with their showing. I thought it was a step backwards instead of a step forward, like they've been
100% agree with that.
So, maybe it's something you put a pin in and watch for this week, but it wasn't a great showing by them by any means. Todd Monken getting away from running the ball. Again, you went into the Chiefs mode there. Derrick Henry only having 11 carries is wrong. Yep. I'm sorry, but there's no other way to describe it other than
I thought coming out of halftime, we were going to see Derrick Henry carry the ball 20 times in the second half.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like the run wasn't working. And his yards per carry are a little bit inflated because I think he was averaging 4.5 yards per carry other than that 39-yard carry that he had.
Yeah,
he had one really long. The reason why he had a 39-yard carry is that he had back-to-back 4-yard carries before that. So
exactly.
He was softening up the defense, and if you keep giving him the ball, he's going to keep breaking long runs off. I thought Mark Andrews looked good. I would have liked to see Isaiah Likely maybe get some more opportunities because I thought that he was, looked good. I want to see Zay find the end zone. I feel like he deserves touchdown at this point. He's got one this year, but another good game for him. What was it, 112 yards or something like that? So again, he looked fine. It was a frustrating game because the offense did more than enough to win on any given week, and you let Jameis Winston fucking tear you up on defense. Jalen Armour-Davis sucks balls. You kind of knew that going in, though. That's not breaking news that he's bad at football.
So Jalen Armour-Davis is a cornerback 6 or 5. So having him on your active and on the team is good because you have guys who are capable of being on the field and they know the play call and all that. But when you're relying on him the way we relied on him this past week, it's going to be a problem.
Mollett didn't look good. Mollett's also coming off an injury. You just had kind of a shitty situation at corner there where you had Wiggins and Marlon out. Brandon Stevens was not good, not bad. He was just, kind of Brandon Stevens. He didn't turn his head around a couple times. He let a couple catches be made on him. He also didn't really give up any big yards after the catch and, kind of wrapped guys up. So kind of it is what it is. Roquan, again, like, something's not right with him. I don't know what it is, but, like, you've got to stop having him carry guys over the middle of the field. It's not working.
Okay, so I was looking at his numbers through his career, and he's never really been great at coverage. And I feel like one of the problems is that the way the defense is being called, he is ending up in coverage way, way, way too often. So it's exposing a weakness of his game.
What he's been great at his whole career is that, he can move sideline to sideline quick, and he kind of, he's always that second guy to the ball carrier of, the Brandon Stevens of the world kind of hold up the guy after the catch, and Roquan comes in and cleans up the mess. And that's kind of always been his bread and butter. And now you're expecting him to play primary coverage on tight ends, running backs, even slot wide receivers over the middle. Like, it's not his game.
Roquan is an elite tackler. So Roquan leads the Ravens in tackles, not just by, like, he's, he leads the team in tackles. He has 82 tackles, and the next closest is Kyle Hamilton at 57. So we're talking about 25 tackles difference.
And some of that is because you have him in primary coverage on a guy, and he gets the catch, and then he gets the tackle. So, like, you almost don't want Roquan to be leading the team in tackles. I feel like him leading the team in tackles.
Your middle linebacker is going to lead the team in tackles if they're good.
Yeah, but, like, Patrick Queen led the team in tackles last year because he'd get abused in coverage. You know what I mean? Like, you almost don't want – I'm saying in a perfect world, you would rather Roquan not be covering the tight end, letting him get a 10-yard catch, and then tackling him. You know what I mean?
So here's a caveat to the previous to what I'm saying. So he has 82 tackles, 1 tackle for loss.
Right, that's the issue. He's not
and I think,
the run game.
But I think that also is going to shine kind of a light on some issues with the scheme where we have him ending up in coverage or behind the line of scrimmage or in front of the line of scrimmage way too often, where he's not able to play the way he should play. Where Roquan
he's not playing downhill, he's playing
Roquan stalks the ball and runs downhill and goes and gets it. That's what he does best. So the fact that he has as many tackles as he does and 1 for loss means he's not being used properly, and which means the whole defense is just not being called properly.
Correct.
Also, we have to mention our pass rush is atrocious. Kyle Van Noy's superhero streak has ended. Nobody took my advice and fractured.
He almost had a pick 6 this week, just to be fair.
Yeah.
And he had a sack last week.
That's because Jameis Winston's retarded, not because Kyle Van Noy did anything right. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't look the same as he did. Owe is not getting to the passer as often. Matabike is not getting to the passer as often as he did last year. You healthy scratch.
But here's a caveat to VD's comment. Why don't we use Simpson for those type of issues? Because of his big ability to be good in coverage. Because, I mean,
again, this goes back to coaching to me.
It does go back to coaching.
It does. I feel like let's just get into the defense now. So the knee-jerk reaction on Twitter is that, Zach Orr is essentially Osama bin Laden, and he's getting the Greg Roman treatment, and he's getting blamed for all of our defensive issues. I think that anybody who is solely blaming Zach Orr is lazy and stupid. I do not think Zach Orr is perfect. I do think Zach Orr is part of the problem. I do think there are also bigger issues at play here. Matabike is not playing the same as he did last year. Part of that is that he's not getting schemed on like stunts and stuff like that to get to the quarterback. And I get that. And we don't have like a Jadeveon Clowney type who's, setting the edge and eating double teams on the outside. Like, fine, you can make that whole argument. I think the biggest issue here is that Zach Orr is in over his head. We promoted him too early so that we didn't lose him because, you don't want to let Zach Orr walk. I think Zach Orr was always being kind of groomed to be the next defensive coordinator. And I don't think they expected Mike McDonald to get a head coaching job this soon. And so you got forced into this spot of like, do you promote Zach Orr too soon or do you let him walk somewhere else? and they chose to promote him too soon. I think he's in a little bit over his head. We got the whole defensive staff gutted, and rather than filling the staff back up with, veterans, maybe a couple guys with defensive coordinator experience who can sort of mentor Zach Orr, you let him kind of flounder on his own for a couple weeks, and then he went and brought in Dean Pease, which is just, making the problems worse. Like, you see the Dean Pease fingerprints all over the play calling. It's a fucking issue. And I think that veteran guys are not playing up to par is the other problem. And so I think you got this perfect storm of a rookie defensive coordinator that's in over his head, a guy like Marcus Williams on the back end of your secondary that's not playing up to par, Roquan Smith, who's supposed to be, the heart and soul of your defense, that's not being used correctly and also not playing up to par, and your pass rushers are not getting the quarterback. And it's leaving all kinds of guys wide open on the field and causing all kinds of issues for you.
Absolutely. And going, taking a trip down memory lane, I think Mike McDonald had some security places in his scheme to basically make Roquan do what he needs to do. Marcus Williams isn't looking too much of an idiot, and just kind of going from there. And in one of our private chats, I forget who said it, but Mike did this. Why aren't you doing it?
Well, and some of it said he wants to be his own guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He wants to put his own fingerprints on the defense, and I get it. He kind of got to let people run their own scheme to an extent, but it's my issue with Zach Orr is that it's not his fault guys drop interceptions. It's not his fault Kyle Hamilton dropped that interception. It was pretty clear to me from the first drive that the defensive game plan was going to be that you make Jameis Winston throw the ball, 7-8 times to get down the field, and your odds of him doing something fucking stupid with the ball are high, and that you can get a turnover out of that. The problem is that you only got one turnover, and it wasn't on a thrown ball; it was a strip sack. And the Browns said that was communication lapse in their blocking scheme. So, at some point you have to look at how the game's progressing and adjust. And you have to look at how your guys are playing and adjust. And I don't think that Zach Orr has done that. That's my biggest gripe towards him at this point.
Hey, just breaking news. I wanted to let you guys know. Aaron Judge just popped out to center.
I'm watching, I know.
I just wanted to update BT. I thought he might want to know.
I'm looking via the Gamecast.
Yeah, he just popped out. Just popped it up.
Yeah, he kind of sucks. Total fucking loser.
Checks out in the postseason.
Actually, him and Daniel Falele have a lot in common. Big for no fucking reason. This would be. And then you got the fake Italian hitting right now, Mike Stanton, a.k.a. Giancarlo Stanton. Judge is worse than Lamar in the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be worse than Aaron Judge in the playoffs. I think it was Sports Talk Barry had the Lou Gehrig with ALS batted 143 for a season, and Aaron Judge does not have ALS as far as I know, and is batting worse than that. So kind of embarrassing, for being honest. These fans are all MVP, blah 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 blah. Fucking Helen Keller would do a better job of playing.
I mean, regular season, yeah, definitely, but in the postseason, no. Like I told you all beforehand,
he's
I am
on shitty pitching.
Shitty pitching in New York? Wow, that's new. But anyways,
Stan lined out for the record.
Drew, he sassed you pretty good.
Who did?
BT.
Shitty. I'm saying Aaron Judge hits shitty pitching. I mean, Garrett Cole's a fucking loser too. I can go talk about him on the Yankees lineup. Every one of them is a fucking loser. Alex Verdugo filmed an underage girl being assaulted after she got sexually assaulted and posted it on Snapchat. Scumbag. Gleyber Torres, fucking scumbag loser. I don't even know who your center fielder is at this point. Is it Aaron Judge?
Yep.
Playing center for the most part.
Yeah,
loser.
He's playing center.
Jazz Chisholm, loser. Anthony Rizzo, loser. Austin Wells, loser. Nestor Cortez, loser. Garrett Cole, fucking loser. Clay Holmes, biggest choke artist in Major League Baseball.
Oh,
loser.
I'm gonna agree with you on that on Holmes. He is a stupid
DJ LeMahieu, loser.
Anyways,
it's great that we do have VD here for baseball talk. As
yeah,
planned.
for baseball talk. Thanks for joining us, VD. Asshole. I would just like to say that VD early in the postseason claimed the Kansas City Royals as his team, and then they lost, and now all of a sudden he's a lifelong Dodgers fan. So, just something to discuss, maybe for a different time. Yeah, low leverage. Judge hit 387 with 36 home runs in the regular season. That's low leverage Aaron. That's what he is. Lights get too bright and he can't do shit. You know, the sun is not a problem for.
The sun is not a problem at all.
No, it's the bright lights of October that are a problem for him. I thought this was a football podcast too, VD, but you know. All right, so back to football. Our defense is a fucking train wreck. I don't know.
We had a lot of second and third string guys in our secondary, so I mean we couldn't really do shit.
Yeah, and you know, again, so like, if I'm being fair, Jalen Armour-Davis is probably reason number 2 we lost. Like, he sucked ass, but like Will said, he's our CB 5 or 6 on a good day. So like, am I really gonna be all that annoyed that our CB 5 or 6 got fucking toasted all game? Like, there is, you know, next man up, whatever, do your job, whatever lame you know, Bill Belichick quote you want to throw in there, like, yeah, cool. But he's our CB 5 or 6 for a reason. Like, he sucked his whole career. We knew that. So expecting him to do something good on Sunday was like, you know, it wasn't going to happen. I mean, we had fucking Bump Cooper Jr. was like our CB 4. Again, like, nobody's heard of that guy. He's an undrafted free agent. I don't like him because he's got a cool name. I don't think he's actually going to play well. So, yeah, you're a pro. You're drafted to be a pro. And then I watched Jalen Armour-Davis multiple times be like, this guy sucks ass. So I don't know.
We finally got our regular moderator here in the show. Welcome aboard, Jake.
Hey, Jake, shut the fuck up.
You shut the fuck up.
Jake,
My
we're
pleasure.
just Jake, we're complaining about the defense. We already complained about the nail painting douchebag. We spent quite a bit of time talking about how much Rashad Bateman sucks. We're now complaining about how much the defense sucked.
We also complained about Eddie Jackson sucking major ass.
Yeah,
I did love
job.
the Trippy. Did you see the Trippy video of Eddie Jackson walking? Lamar's walking.
Eddie Jackson, learn how to catch his fucking ball, man.
But it was like, you know, Lamar's walking by. Trippy's like, it's all right, Lamar, you know, whatever. We'll get him next week. And then Eddie Jackson looks by. He's like, hey, Eddie, catch the fucking ball.
Yep.
That was hilarious.
How about so I wish Trippy were here, but Trippy calling over Tez Walker, and they had this whole conversation, and then he's like, all right, I'm going to tell Harbs to make you a safety.
Yeah, I heard that.
Right.
I didn't know Tez Walker was a nose ring guy, which kind of I'm not a fan of.
Calvin.
I wish I didn't see that. Grant Calvin. A lot of people nose rings not a fan of. But you know, different problem for a different day. That's another guy. Why don't we
get Calvin in here?
No. Calvin's banned from Zone 32 until he fucking tries to kick field goals. It's been like a month.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Mr. I know an athletic director was going to, you know, set this whole thing up, and Calvin won't do it. So,
I haven't heard nothing from Calvin. Don't take. I'll be there when I need to be there.
No.
I'll be there with the proper equipment.
I'm not criticizing you. I'm saying you know an athletic director in a field, and it's on Calvin to, you know, say when he's available.
Yeah,
he hasn't done it yet. So, yeah, I was just making fun of your I know an athletic director flex.
No, I got access to the equipment. I got the equipment.
Hilarious line that gets overlooked. But
But yeah, shitty defense.
Yeah.
Trash.
Shitty defense.
Absolutely trash. And it's wild to
Were you at
see.
were you at Buffalo Wild Wings for the game?
No, I was at home. I was at home watching. Actually, I was at home watching. It was awful.
I was getting
Again,
paid to watch that
Have the
game.
Ravens lost the game when you've gone to Buffalo Wild Wings?
This year they have. I've only ever gone once. So
You've only gone once
if
this
that,
year?
only gone once to B-dubs to the game this year, and that was the Raiders. And I'm like, nope, I ain't doing that again.
Because I know like 3 times last year they won soundly all 3 games. So I was going to say you might
did.
have to live at B-dubs. Might have to live at B-dubs, but that.
I mean, which
B-dubs
is
matter
fine.
more off.
I mean, I was gonna say which was fine because I own so many B-dubs out in California. That's why I eat so many hamburgers there. I get bored of saucy nuggets.
Honestly, you eating a cheeseburger at Buffalo Wild Wings is less crazy than Rashad Bateman claiming he lost the ball in the sun.
Right.
I think that's how fucking wild that was. You think Eddie Jackson lost all his interceptions in the sun?
Right.
I think there was a few in the shade.
The one that he dropped the first drive, honestly, like he was the target of that pass. There was not a Brown
that went right
5
to
yards
him
in any direction of him. Like James Wilson was like, "Oh, Eddie will catch that," and threw it to him, and then Eddie dropped it.
The touchdown that was thrown down the seam. Like, I've never seen any player in the NFL.
You're talking the game-winning one. You're talking about the game-winning one where he got torched by Tillman.
Yep.
Right. Just to be clear.
So Tillman ran the seam. He didn't even he didn't even disguise it. He just ran the seam, and Eddie Jackson turned towards the sideline, ran towards the sideline, and then ran.
Oh, you are underselling. Have you seen the all 22 angle? The undersell of the century by you.
I mean, I don't even need to see it. All I know is I watched it in real time as it was happening, and I was like, "What the fuck is he?" He turned the complete wrong way. Like there wasn't even a juke that would have led him to think that was the way his body should be turned, but he did it anyway. And then he was like, "Oh fuck, I guess I got to go run the opposite direction now." He couldn't have played that worse. It made me sick.
Cedric Tillman ran straight at him for 10 yards maybe, and Eddie Jackson just stood there flat-footed and was like,
"Wait, you're setting to play safety?"
Honestly, I'm better than fucking Eddie Jackson. People outside of Twitter have confirmed that I would be a better safety than Eddie Jackson. Yeah, that playing of that Tillman route was fucking embarrassing, and that was Eddie Jackson's entire day. There's also the still footage of Njoku just like teabagging the shit out of Eddie Jackson on that touchdown. Which again, great catch by Njoku, but Eddie Jackson has to make that fucking play.
And again, Eddie Jackson's head, he's like looking at the fucking Goodyear blimp. It's crazy where his fucking head is, and the ball is behind him. It's behind him.
The wrong direction for the ball.
It's crazy.
He did turn his head around, but just not
the wrong fucking way. He's fucking bird watching. This guy's looking at fucking owls.
If he was like drunk, I would maybe understand why some of this shit happened. So does Eddie Jackson have a drinking problem?
It was insane. He was so bad. It was like you had to make up your own fucking adventure about why he was doing what he was doing. It made no goddamn sense. I've never seen, like I said, I've never seen a defensive back in the NFL. I've never watched a defensive back in the NFL have as bad a game start to finish as him.
Marcus Williams must have loved that, though. So just to touch on Marcus Williams briefly, Harbaugh said he was not going to play because of internal team issue. There's a whole lot of speculation on the internet, mostly being pushed by Marlon Humphrey's co-host, who clearly knows what's going on and won't say it because then, everybody will know that it came from Marlon. Little Jackie sources, your source is Marlon, which is fine. You do a podcast with the guy. Again, a lot of rumors as to what happened. Harbaugh did come out after the game and say Williams wasn't going to play. I think having him in uniform on the sideline, knowing he wasn't going to play, was a wild move. I think we talked about that privately before. Whatever, because Eddie Jackson said he knew he was going to start on Wednesday. So that means it was a known thing that Marcus Williams was not going to play. So I would say have him in street clothes. But nobody loves Eddie Jackson's downfall more than Marcus Williams. And maybe this helps Marcus Williams not suck ass anymore. I guess silver lining is that Marcus Williams can look at that performance
I
and
disagree.
be like,
I think Marcus Williams seeing the guy who they played instead of him be terrible is him being like, see, I wasn't that bad.
Maybe. It
could be a mix of the both.
There are rumors that Marcus Williams is upset that he is getting blamed for how plays end when he plays his assignment, I think is the diplomatic way to put that. And that has potentially caused some issues between him and coaches, players, media, whatever the problem is. My comeback to that would be shut the fuck up and play. Stop pouting about it. But we can't get any worse than Eddie Jackson was on Sunday. So maybe, I'm hoping that maybe message received from Marcus Williams and that we can get some kind of, better play out of him would be fucking phenomenal. But I never want to see Eddie Jackson on the field again, I think is the crux of this issue here.
Well, I believe we discussed it last week or 2 weeks ago. The real way for this defense to turn it around is to simplify everything. They're getting too cute. They're doing these fucking disguises to where you have DBs coming down and trying to make plays 15 yards off the line of scrimmage and doing these late rotations and getting caught out of position. They're doing way too much thinking. They are not confident out there on the field. And it's telling because they don't do anything well. They can't get after the quarterback.
It's a double-edged sword what you're saying, Jake, because we're complaining we don't get to the quarterback enough. And so the way you try to get more pressure is by
blitzing.
These exotic blitz packages or simulated pressures that, you're trying to confuse the quarterback at the line of scrimmage, which is fine. But I feel like you're rotating Eddie Jackson down, who's already slow as fuck and not going to be able to get back on this guy. Maybe you rotate Kyle Hamilton down, but then you rotate Kyle Hamilton down and sometimes he doesn't pick up his guy that he's supposed to. So it's a whole bunch of issues going on there that are fixed if you just get to the fucking quarterback. I think that's the bigger issue, is that if you're going to go through all these, exotic wild steps to confuse the quarterback, you got to make sure the blitz gets home. I think that is kind of where we start on this defense. If you're going to fix things, is that you got to get in the quarterback's face. And I'm not asking for, to start leading the NFL in sacks, but you got to disrupt the passer. Enough of, James Winston had all day in the fucking pocket, which is part of why he did
all day.
Is that he had all day in the fucking pocket, and then he just had to wait a few seconds for, Eddie Jackson or Jalen Armour-Davis to do something stupid. That's a pretty easy day for a quarterback. I don't really understand why, we spent all this money on Matabike. We have Kyle Van Noy. Tavius Robinson has looked good in doses. Travis Jones has caused some mayhem up the middle. I feel like you got to get something going on the defensive line and really get to the quarterback, only rushing 4 guys, and just, beat the man in front of you. Enough of the getting cute, enough of the, simulating pressure. I want to see Justin Matabike line up on the edge and beat his guy off the edge and get to the quarterback. I want to see Odafe Oweh, if you got to do 43 spin moves to get to the quarterback, fucking do them, but hit the quarterback. I hope a message was sent to Ajabo that, you're a second-round pick. Figure it the fuck out. You're making Drew Band look really fucking stupid, and he's getting more tweets about you sucking than fucking, Rashad Bateman doing well. Maybe this lights a fire under his ass and he does something. But I would like to see Bo Nix flat on his back 30 times on Sunday.
It's mandatory. You have to. You can't let a youngster like him come in and light you up through the air. That's shameful. Now, mind you, other than the Buffalo game, we've been lit up through the air in pretty much every game we played this year.
Even the Buffalo game, I would say that we were put in a position to be lit up through the air, but Josh Allen didn't take advantage of it. They shot themselves in the foot more than we stopped them.
Definitely.
Visionless Dave has asked if the Ravens defense is good enough to make a Super Bowl run. Talent-wise, yes.
Yeah, they're talented enough.
Agreed 100%.
Well, I guess my it's our podcast, so you can ask all the questions you want, Hurricane Dave. But is the Chiefs' offense good enough to make the Super Bowl?
Actually, that's a great comparison because last year you would say the Chiefs' offense. I would like to see Bo Nix flat on his back. Pause. Of course. Of course. Yep. That's my fault. I gave Visionless Dave ammo to put out there, but no.
Yep.
The Chiefs offense from a couple years ago is a good comparison because all year everybody was like, "Oh, Chiefs offense sucks. Like they can't score 25 points a game. Like they're never going to win the playoffs." And then the playoffs rolled around, and all of a sudden they just fucking figured it out. And so the Ravens defense has the talent to do something like that. Will they do something like that? I don't know. It's a kind of wait and see thing. At this point, I would love to see them go out and add a pass rusher and add a safety and just kind of see what happens. I mean, that's really the only point that you're at here. You're kind of past the point of like firing the defensive coordinator and starting a whole new scheme. So you sort of just have to keep rolling the ball out every Sunday and hope that things go your way, would be my response to that question.
And
if
you know what? Hey, you know what? Visionless Dave, if Ojabo was the wrong pick, he may have been. I would say the Ravens right now would be in a better spot if they had picked Jaquan Brisker.
From the Bears,
if they had picked Tyquan Thornton. If they had picked
we have another
Cam Jurgens.
I don't know if I can go.
If they had picked Alec Pierce. If they had picked Trey McBride. If they had picked, I'll keep going if you want to, but it doesn't have to be.
Will is avoiding saying somebody's name. Shout out George Pickens for the most athletic non-catch I've ever seen in my entire life last night.
That was skill. That was skill to not score a touchdown there.
To not put your foot down in that situation is one of the most athletically impressive feats I've ever seen in my entire life. The dumbest fucking football play of all time.
By the way, James Cook was taken at pick 63 in that draft.
Yeah, but if we took James Cook, we wouldn't have signed Derrick Henry, so I don't want James Cook.
That's true.
No, I agree.
Very much true, was it?
James Cook could be RB2. Who knows?
I mean, he kind of started emerging to more of a bell cow back towards the end of the year last year for the Bills. That offense is predicated around him now as opposed to big-ass Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen's a fullback. Nobody talks about it, but
nope.
So,
fullback from bumfuck nowhere in California.
Sunday.
Also, according to sources on the internet, Josh Allen has still not thrown an interception all year. Most reputable football sources and people who watch the game on Sunday.
Most reputable reading sources.
But there are sources who claim that he has not thrown a pick yet. So I just want that to be put out on the record.
I see. They did not watch the Seahawks game then.
That source may have tweeted a graphic that showed that he threw an interception, but then denied that source's legitimacy in the replies. So quite the wild.
Repeatedly. But that source may also be on the record as not being literate. So
yeah.
Oh no.
Quite the wild move by Calvin, but
So he needs the thing that Eric Cartman had in South Park, hooked on monkey phonics.
Pretty much.
I'm not sure that would help Calvin. I think he needs something more elementary than that.
Oh shit.
Maybe
that's Casey done.
Maybe a brain transplant of some kind. I'm not sure.
Brain transplant would probably help.
Nah, he just needs to go back to preschool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you color in the lines. Inside the lines.
Billy Madison type thing for Calvin.
2 weeks in each grade.
His final will be
grade and maybe
his final will be an oral essay about the puppy who lost his way.
No, his final essay is kicking 1 out of 3 field goals.
Yeah, but that doesn't prove literacy. That just proves he can kick a ball. That could be his athletic final. But is
from a Harry Potter book, then I'll donate $500,000 to the charity of his choice.
That's right. That's exactly right.
I left some words out of that because I can't say what 50 Cent said.
I recall. From old Curtis Jackson.
Yeah, Curtis Jackson to Floyd, the woman beater Mayweather.
Yep.
So we can all agree that Sunday was an absolute shit show. Fire these people into the sun, and
the only way that I end up being okay with Sunday is that it is some monumental turning point for our season, similar to that Browns blowout loss at home in 2019. If this is the point that we went and got Deontay Johnson today.
I was about to bring that up next.
That was a pretty big move. We've been screwing for a wide receiver for a while, and I think that short of adding like a Devontae Adams type, like that's the right move to make. Is that you go get a guy who is used to being not the primary target on an offense, and he seems to fit in with the Ravens' idea of separation over catches, and so now you got a bunch of guys who get open. I could see that working out pretty well. I think he's got better hands than Aguilar. I think a lot of his drop issues are behind him. So you're also building up the if we can't go get anybody on defense because there's no major I don't think we walk away from this trade deadline without making any moves on defense. But if you're just bringing in, depth guys, not, premier pass rusher or premier safety, at least you have you might not be able to play defense at a high level, but your offense can't be stopped. And you have the possibility for that.
So I
take
asked
that
one of my
take that recharge comment off the screen.
Hold on. Hold on.
We're ignoring him.
I'm just going to point out the Browns are here. 24.
Mm-hmm.
Where
the
are we
Patriots are 27.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Drake May has brain damage now, per sources.
Yep.
So a good friend of mine, who's unfortunately a big Steelers fan, sent me. I asked him about the in-depths of DJ, and he said a guy who can get open, but historically has problems catching the passes, is short and not a tight end, so doesn't have the huge catch radius that Andrews and Likely have. Now you guys get to worry about the diva critique as well. He's a competent blocker occasionally, but he's not a DK Ward or Allen Robinson type, so don't expect him to be a key blocker on the long run.
Do you trust Deontay Johnson to catch the ball more than Nelson Aguilar? I probably do.
Yes.
There's no video of a guy. There's no video of a guy outside of a fire saying that Deontay Johnson can't catch babies being thrown out the window. There is a video of somebody saying that about Nelson Aguilar. So,
do you trust
Deontay's drops are usually
Deontay Johnson to catch the ball more than you do Rashad Bateman? Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously.
At this point, yeah.
Fucking obviously.
Yes.
That's not really a fair question. I would trust most of our offensive linemen to catch the ball more than I would trust Rashad Bateman at this point. So,
agreed.
I think we all can agree on that.
So what happened today was EDC saw Bateman return to his normal self and said, you know what? This isn't going to work. We need to get a real wide receiver too. We're going to go get that guy, put him in where Rashad has been pretending. He's been, cosplaying. And so now we have a real offense.
And I'm going to say something.
Before that, we had the best offense in the league, but now, yeah. So, VD, you were bragging about getting DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins on the Chiefs. I would have loved to have DeAndre Hopkins. I'm not going to shit on DeAndre Hopkins. He's great, but the Chiefs signing him was because the Chiefs had no wide receivers, none.
Because they signed some useless midget who plays video games in the offseason.
Pretty much.
And horrifically unsafe driver. But credit to Rashad Bateman, I guess. Cinderella turned back into a pumpkin before we couldn't make a move. So I guess if he was gonna, prove that he was still the same dipshit that we thought he was, he did it at the right time. So good for him. Thanks for helping the team out, pussy.
Yep.
Oh my God. Gleyber Torres hit a home run. It's 10-4 Yankees, huh? Not ideal.
Oh shit. Well, hey, good for them. They'll go and lose the World Series in LA tomorrow.
So it's not tomorrow. I think it's Thursday. But
yeah, Thursday.
Clearly, the Dodgers want to celebrate on home turf, which I would have loved to celebrate winning a World Series in the Guido dipshit Yankee fans' face. But that's just me. Mookie Betts kind of soft. Probably not into that. Maybe
he's thinking about bowling.
I have to wonder how much Shohei put on Yankees in 5 or Dodgers in 5 through his with his offshore bookie. I would also, on top of my Greg Roman and Wink Martindale and Dean Pease investigations that I requested, I would also like the Department of Justice to investigate that.
Hold on. VD, weren't you just saying that you're a Royals fan not too long ago? Like diehard Royals?
He told Will and I in a private chat, don't worry, the Royals got the Yankees, and that his Royals would win. And then the Royals lost, and all of a sudden he's been a lifelong Dodger fan. So I don't know.
Dude, I always thought that that VD was not a baseball fan.
He's not.
Lied to. Oh, okay.
Anyways,
bandwagon fan. It's fine. Not big deal.
Do we want to start to get to?
Let's get into the Broncos preview. So, obviously, you have a rookie quarterback coming in there. He's playing all right, actually. He's playing better than he started as, because beginning of the year he was atrocious. But
yeah, VD, a big fan of D's.
D's nuts.
Yep. No, just D's in general.
Nice.
Wants to make me gay for saying that I want Bo Nix on his back. You like D's, so how about that one, VD?
There you go. D's nuts. Anyway, it's another defense that they've been playing well, but it's another one of those load up the box, blitz heavy, cover on the back end kind of defenses to where you could kind of take advantage of them similarly to where we did against the Bucks and the Commies, really, because they're super aggressive in trying to stop the run, which leaves them susceptible to play action. So offensively, I think this could be a get-right game, in spite of their rankings defensively. Just don't throw the ball to Pat Surtain.
That's what I was going to say. Avoid PS2, and I think you're good on offense.
Mm-hmm.
I know that.
Don't be afraid to throw towards him, but that shouldn't be your first read. I would just put Rashad Bateman in front of him all game and just use him as a decoy.
Go find out if Riley Moss and their nickel corners can defend.
Oh, I don't know. Riley Moss can ball.
Can he? Okay.
Grant's a big Riley Moss guy. I don't know why, but he said that something about restoring hope to his people, and he loved Riley Moss. So
is he one of those last guy in the building? Is he one of those first guy in the building, last guy out kind of dudes?
Last guy out, makes the most out of his athleticism.
Yep. Brings his lunch pail to work every day.
Yeah, just
high motor.
Not the most athletic guy on the field, but real high football IQ.
Yeah.
Knows how to get the most out of what physical talent he has. So I think we got to watch out for Riley Moss a little bit. It's kind of
motor never stops. Yep.
Yeah. Plays through the whistle. Really plays really hard nosed, tough.
Yep.
Just a real student of the game. So
that's right.
I think we got to watch out for Riley Moss a little bit, but I think this is going to be a big Mark Andrews game. He is sneaky athletic, Naldo. I think we covered that in our white cornerback euphemisms. But if I've missed that one, then my apologies.
Yeah, we did miss sneaky athletic. So sneaky athletic.
Yeah, just you look at him and you don't expect him to be athletic, but he is. So yes, I mean defensively, that's kind of. I think that's Jake kind of hit the nail on the head. Like they are, blitz heavy team. They're going to stop the run, and so that's going to leave them vulnerable on the back end. So let's take advantage of that. And then I would say, defensively speaking, Bo Nix doesn't scare me that much. I mean, he's turning 37 this year, and he's a rookie. He's going to be selling insurance by like 2027. Let's not let him beat you. When he played for Auburn, he was horrific against the blitz. So maybe this is a week where you, kind of get the pass rush right. And, maybe hit Bo Nix a lot and let him be Auburn Bo Nix instead of Oregon Bo Nix. Because that was the big difference in his career is that, God damn it, VD. Constantly, just
constantly talking about back end, vulnerable back ends. VD has your number in the comment section tonight.
Oh fuck! Yeah, it's not great. He's caught me saying a lot of questionable things.
It's all right. You just have to pull out your inner Riley Freeman to fight him off.
On fire tonight.
Drew's gay.
Unbelievable.
Hey man, there's nothing wrong with being gay. It's 2024.
I was about to say the same thing. It's 2024. Just let it happen.
Yeah, if you enjoy playing with penis, that's your business.
I'm
just not even gender exclusive anymore.
Just making announcements for the listening crowd.
Nobody in the crowd.
This would make an already apparent fact known, which is Zone 32 is an inclusive kind of podcast, man. We don't judge your sexual preferences. So long
we're sponsored by a fucking murderer in O.J. Simpson, so
that is true.
Pretty inclusive of all people.
Yep.
I mean, we did an O.J. Simpson honorary mock draft. I feel like that should have been the announcement to the world that your life choices we don't judge you for them. So
exactly,
not all of them.
Yeah,
especially if your wife cheated on you with someone else. Then
some guy named Ronald, and you go and cut both their heads off. Like it's cool. Yeah. We're still gonna honor you.
That's right.
Or your kid does, and you take the fall for it, and then Cuba Gooding Jr. plays you in an FX series a couple years later. But
yep, that's right.
I don't think this is a huge Derrick Henry game. I think this is a big Zay Flowers game. Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews, I feel like, are your two guys. Could be a big Deontay Johnson game too, to be honest. I don't know how much we'll see him just because, we just
brand new offense.
It's gonna be simplified for Deontay.
Yeah, I feel like you're gonna see, I don't know what, like 1/3 of the offensive snaps are gonna have specific packages that you work them into this week. Talking about working guys.
Oh fuck! You just did it again.
Yeah, but I
did it again.
I self-reported.
You dumb gay idiot! What are you doing? Why do you keep saying these things?
Hey, he's just trying to put it out on Front Street that Drew is
really
inclusive.
Drew is trying to work packages into small places.
Drew is one of those dudes who went on to NFLshop.com during Pride Month, found all the rainbow merch, bought it, and is like, you know what? This is for the good of the flock.
I'm slightly rattled by VD's clipping me out of context here. And so now I'm catching myself saying these things.
You're not catching yourself. You keep saying it. You keep fucking putting
you
yourself
don't catch yourself.
Right after I said it, I caught myself. We are going to design a specific small amount of plays for Deontay Johnson. And I don't think you're going to see him outside of those specific plays.
Drew, would you say that group of plays is called the Small Johnson set?
I am not going to comment on anything Johnson related.
That's great. That's great.
Just don't forget that we had a BBC list made in honor of Grant. So that
Drew's Small Johnson play calls.
You mean Deontay Johnson's small package of plays?
There.
Pause.
I think that makes Jake a good one now, so I'm good.
Hey, yo!
He talked me now. So
hey, man. Inclusivity. It is 2024. If a man...
We're falling on the sword for that one.
If a man decides he wants to suck his girlfriend's penis, who am I to judge it? God bless you. That's all I say to that.
Jake, your state should know the most about that.
Oh, they do. Yes, they do. They do. Anyway, let's get into Jersey.
Do you
picks
guys
and
remember
Jersey
that?
combos?
Do you guys
Scores.
remember that play Deontay Johnson gave up on? Does that worry you?
I don't
Is
know
that
what you're talking
the
about.
fumble against the Bengals?
I
No.
think so.
I think he was checked out of that Matt Canada offense.
He's been on teams with a bunch of fucking bums for
I would
his
say
entire
those were
career.
business decisions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not concerned. I feel like he concerns me a lot less than the nail painter. So, yeah. Correct, Jake. What?
Anyways, so like Jake was trying to say, jersey pant combos.
We'll do that in score picks. Well, I mean,
Will already made his jersey pick public, so why don't you just say it now, Will?
Purple jerseys, black pants.
He also made mine public and then called me a coward for picking it. But
Well, no, because you are a coward for the reason you're picking it, because you saw that
I'm a
graphic.
coward for being right. I'm sorry. I would say
It's not about being right. You're picking what you
right
want.
fits Kurt.
What you want.
Well, then I would pick black every week.
exactly, or black purple.
Well, then pick black every week. Be a man.
Then I would pick white purple on the road every week. That's fucking stupid. I'm here to
exactly.
win. I'm here to win. What are you, fucking Harmon here? Stop.
Be a
We're
man.
talking what we think they're gonna do. That's all.
Yeah,
Which
I think that they're gonna wear purple jerseys and white pants because they put out a graphic of that. So, again, I'm in the business of being right every week, not in the business of following what my heart desires.
I've tried to tell you, because that happened one time, it's not indicative of what they do. They every graphic they put out when they have not announced the jersey combination is going to be purple jerseys, white pants. That's what they do.
And according to VD's comment, Will's entire account is based on what pants a bunch of men will wear.
Questionable.
That's fair. That is fair. But anyway, I mean, even that being said, Will, what's the weather supposed to be like for the game this week?
Clear, cool, perfect.
60-degree day, 70-degree day.
Yep.
Something like that.
Standard. No concern for weather.
I'll be purple white.
Drew, what's your score?
Ooh. 35-14 Ravens. Drew must be going out of business because he's always wrong. Tom, I haven't missed a jersey prediction all year. Bald freak. My God.
So,
Will, what was your score prediction?
I don't have one yet.
As far as jerseys pants go, I'm gonna second Will and go purple and black. As far as score goes, I'm gonna say 34-24.
I have a similar frame of mind as far as like score differential as to BET. I agree with Drew, purple and white. I would avoid purple and black this week because of what happened the last time we played the Broncos and wore purple jerseys, black pants. That was a bad time. So I'll go purple, white.
That was the Lamar injury and the Proche double pass, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yep.
That was that game. So I'm going purple, white.
Will,
30.
Will, stay the fuck away from M&T this week, please.
There you go.
Nowhere near it. Like
You were there.
Yeah, I was there. I'm not going anywhere near M&T this week. I'm doing the right thing. I'm just asking you to do the same.
I didn't go to the game. I was not at the game.
You were close to the stadium. They felt your vibes. We've been over this.
Jake, tell me your predictions again.
I'm going purple jerseys, white pants, and I'm going 30-20 Ravens. Like, I don't have a lot of faith in the defense being able to hold out too many points, but if you limit enough possessions, Broncos probably only score 20 at the most. And we'll get another angry but funny Brandon Perna video on the internet.
Okay. I'm going purple black, obviously. That was my my big reveal was exposed by Drew. Fine.
You tweeted it, you retard.
I know.
Like 10, 12 hours ago.
It was like
all right,
3
my
hours
score
ago.
is 31-17.
All right, so Will and I are expecting bigger margin of victory than BT and Jake because we're real fans and they're not. That's fine.
That's right. That's right.
But we also have seen what this defense has been the last few weeks, so
Correct.
Sean Payton tried to fuck us out of the last Super Bowl that we won by shutting off the lights at halftime because he was protesting Bounty Gate. I feel like this is a game that we stick it to him and rub it in his fucking face that we still won. So
Damn straight.
that'll work.
fuck Sean Payton. Yeah.
Fuck Sean Payton.
Fuck
Fuck John
Nix.
Elway.
Bo Nix seems to forget that Cortland Sutton exists sometimes. Javonte Williams went to UNC, so he's a fucking loser. So I'm not really afraid of him. Just offensively, they don't scare me. Purple jersey
ED.
mustard pants. They could
ED has been on
Take
it
that
in
off the
comment.
screen now.
It's
When are they
blasphemous.
going? When are they going to bust out the purple helmet?
Next week. Not this
Against
week,
the
but the week
Bengals.
after against the Bengals.
Have they already announced that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
They announced at the same time as they announced the all black.
It was the darkness falls and purple rising.
Yep.
Got it. I said this would be an interesting week to break that out, but I didn't know if they'd announced that yet, so that's why I asked. So I didn't look like a clown, because I don't like to be wrong on jersey predictions.
That's right. Well,
some people
anyway,
have to, be right every week. Will's not one of them, but
there you go. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this week's installment. We will be back to discuss this, that, and the other. But meanwhile, it's time for me to die.
Who's doing Grant? See ya.
See ya.